So what's something that makes even the most seasoned managers sweat? I'll tell you, it's giving tough feedback. I'm talking about those conversations that can feel like you're essentially diffusing a bomb in a crowded room. I think about those like really tough ones where you don't know what you want to say, how to say it, but you have to. And guess what? It doesn't really have to be that tough. So I think about it like this: whether you're leading a team at a top tier tech company, or a small business, or coaching a team, or navigating your personal relationships, or even if you're just trying to get your friend to, or your roommate better yet, to stop doing things like leaving dirty dishes in the sink. Feedback is always going to be super powerful. And that's why we're going to work on unlocking that today. So I bring this up specifically because I want you to ask, like, why do you hate giving feedback so much? It's not easy, but we want to break down some of those common myths because there's a lot that go on, and I think there's so many things that we can uncover here. And I think the first one is, it's just gonna, people try to avoid it because they feel like it's gonna be this long, drawn out ordeal. When in reality, sometimes feedback could actually just be super quick and to the point, but it has to be done strategically and with intentions. You think of it like a feedback magnet. You know, you have those people who actually listen and then take action. That's where it becomes easy. And let's say that you noticed, I don't know, one of your colleagues or your peers, they missed the key point that you wanted them to hit in a meeting. You can literally just say something as simple as, hey, I noticed you didn't address X, Y, and Z yesterday in the meeting. And then stop. It doesn't have to be this long, drawn out document of detailed feedback of why, blah, blah, blah. And if they're a feedback magnet, they'll take ownership. Like, oh, you know what? You're right. I'll follow up today with another email, or I'll follow up with a team and let them know X, Y, Z. Or better yet, I'll be more prepared next time. Boom, problem solved. Boom, easy work. It's not that hard. But obviously, not everyone's going to take feedback that well. Not everybody's a feedback magnet. Most people actually aren't. So you really still don't want to assume that conversations need to be a marathon, though. You have to figure out who you're giving feedback to and why and what the feedback is. Now, the other thing I like to think about is people always feel like feedback has to be perfect. And this is where I like to say newsflash. Feedback is actually a dialogue, not a monologue. Feedback is a dialogue, not a monologue. Although sometimes you'll need multiple conversations. I'm dealing with that right now at work. I have to have multiple feedback conversations with people. But maybe if your feedback is complex or you need to understand their perspective, then that's where you have to say, hey, that's okay. Because it shows that you care, and it takes a little bit longer, but it doesn't have to be drawn out. Now, there are multiple situations that will essentially warrant multiple conversations. Like I said, I'm dealing with that right now at work. There's multiple layers. There's different reasons why I'm giving this feedback. There's other people that are involved, and I have to make sure that it's clearly communicated through multiple sessions. But I also have to understand their perspective. So when you're addressing negative reactions or disagreements with feedback, that's when it can get a little tough. But you have to update your feedback with new context, which means you have to start correcting mistakes. So another method I like to think about is just embracing the back and forth, because really what this does is shows that you trust and value the other person's input. And I think that's where a lot of us lack. We show that we don't trust people. And it may not be on purpose, but you think, oh man, they're going to take it the wrong way. They're not going to listen to what I'm saying. They're going to interrupt, which they probably will. But still, you can't control how someone reacts. So just control how you deliver your message, and then everything will come together. I've learned that through corporate especially. A lot of times people think, oh man, he's going to take it wrong. But you just have to communicate the best you can and start with positive intent. I think be specific, stay focused, and think about impact. And don't think about who is being critiqued or getting feedback. Think about the what that's getting feedback. So I think there's different ways you can do it, but it depends on your communication style. I think you just have to go in and say, hey, I want to have a productive conversation. I want to help you make the strongest impact that I can. And that's when you start discussing any hurdles or obstacles or challenges that you're experiencing or that you're seeing this person you're giving the feedback experience. And you could do this in your relationships as well. It's so easy, and communication is key, but it takes a long time to get there and it takes a lot of practice. I wasn't the best at this. I actually used to struggle, which is why I'm able to talk about it now, because I practice and practice and practice. And I also learned that a lot of people don't really listen. So once you start listening and being curious about the other person's perspective, then you have information and data to work with. So you have to start participating a little less so you can hear more, right? That's going to help you get better and more diverse ideas and feedback. So you just have to be, I'm not saying you have to be, but it's good to be an inclusive leader and be someone who actually cares about the team. And that's why I'm really bringing this all up, because feedback is so critical. This is how you get people to become better. This is how you get people to overcome their hurdles and their flaws and get them to be on the same page as you. So you have to ask yourself, how are you going to move different moving forward? How can you best support other people based on the feedback they're giving you and that you're getting from them? And I think it's also important to not forget to ask about feedback on yourself. I just got my manager feedback 2 weeks ago. I'm okay with it. It wasn't the best. There's things I got to work on. There's things I'm going to get better at, but hey, it's good. It's good information to know, because I look at feedback as like information. It's the superpower. It translates to life beyond the office. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not talking about surface level tips. I'm talking about really getting into the why behind the what. And there's a lot of ways, like I said, it doesn't just have to be corporate. For a lot of you, just imagine you're on a date and you notice a pattern. You're on a date and the fine shit is just constantly interrupting you. So instead of letting that resentment build up, try something like, hey, just hit her with some of that ism and just be like, baby, I really value our conversation, but I've noticed that I don't always get to finish my thoughts. And to be honest, it makes me just feel unheard. As simple as that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. The reason why I say this works is because it's not about blaming. Like I say, end the blame game. Stop pointing fingers. Take accountability. You just need to create space for mutual respect. It's that simple. You're not attacking someone's character. You're just addressing a behavior and its impact on you or on your business. And if you come in with this mindset and with this approach, you can really build that understanding and intimacy, or however you want to call it, just being closer as far as like getting things moving and progressing forward and not letting things get bottled up. Try slowing things down and focus on the delivery and the what and the why. And this is going to work because you're going to start acknowledging people's effort. Try acknowledging people's effort first, addressing the risk, and then offering a solution, because you're not just pointing out a flaw anymore. You're actually providing actionable advice and explaining the impact and the benefits behind it. So when you do this, this is really helping you build that supportive and knowledge-based feedback. And it's crucial when you're trying to help other people reach your goals, right? There's so many different ways that you can do this. Here's the bottom line. Feedback is not just a workplace skill. It's a life skill. So work on giving and receiving feedback. It's not going to be easy, but what you give, you get. So go practice, whether it be at work, whether it be with your friends, whether it be with your significant others, whether it be with your family, whether it be with your team. Once you start providing and seeking feedback and taking it in, you're going to help yourself. You're going to help the people around you start igniting their potential. That being said, thanks for watching this video, and we'll catch you in the next one. And if anything, go watch another video on my page. Go subscribe, hit like, do all the jazz. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.